Alright guys, the time is now. My name is Dakota.
I'm Jen.
We're the Geekritique show. We're waiting eagerly to find out who the next Doctor is. I mean, we're not betting people, but I personally think it's going to be Jodie Whittaker, who I mentioned in my previous video about the announcement of this happening. Do you have any personal thoughts, Jen? Like, who do you want it to be?
Who do I want it to be? I don't know. I don't think...
I highly doubt it's going to be David Tennant, obviously. A lot of people thought that the number 10 turning into 13 in the announcement trailer was, like, a hint towards that.
Yeah, I don't think that either. I mean, a girl can dream, but...
But a guy doesn't want to dream. Well...
I actually, I was... really, I know it's not going to happen, but I actually was really hyped up for Tom Ellis. I really wanted it to be him, but I don't think that that's actually going to happen.
Well,
so.
you know, they did show the Statue of Liberty.
On Ellis Island.
On Ellis
Cha-cha!
Island in that announcement trailer, so that might be something.
So maybe. I feel like all of the other things that they showed didn't really line up with that line of thought, though.
No.
And I do feel like it's most likely going to be a woman, so Jodie Whittaker, it does seem probable. And a lot of people are saying Chris Marshall, which I wouldn't be... A lot of people... It's like, yeah, Chris Marshall, or... No, not Chris Marshall. So he has very, love or hate reviews. But I personally really like him in anything I've seen him in. So I would not be upset for that either.
I don't think I've ever actually, seen him in anything. I might be totally wrong.
No, yeah, you've seen him in that movie that we both hate. The one... Love Actually, he's in that.
That's a terrible film.
Yeah, that is a terrible film. But he was also in a movie that I like, which is Notting Hill.
Okay, I actually haven't seen that one. Or I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I don't know.
Yeah, I liked that. He's in a couple of other things that I've seen. I remember when they announced him, I looked it up on his IMDb, and I had seen him in quite a few things that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So besides Love Actually, which was god-awful.
Yeah, and Chris Marshall was actually the first, runner-up of, he was the first to be, highly betted on by the bookies. So I'm not sure what to make of that. In America, I don't know of anyone betting on who the next Doctor is here in America, but, all those British betting polls are, going crazy right now. Apparently, Jodie Whittaker shot up to the number 1 spot. It's 1-for-1 right now for Jodie Whittaker to take the role of the next Doctor. Within the past week, she, came out of nowhere and, went to the top of the list. And it makes sense because she's worked with Chris Chibnall previously in Broadchurch, and she's phenomenal in that. So if it turns out to be her, I mean, I'd be worried. Yeah, obviously, anyone should be worried about any change in the Doctor, whether it's going to be good or not. Especially being that it's such a huge change, the show may see a huge drop off in their viewership.
Or an increase. Because I feel like the media would cover that like crazy, and I feel like people might join in out of curiosity to see, wow, this is the first female Doctor.
That's true.
And then if it's actually good, people will keep watching. However, if they change to a female Doctor and everybody tunes in and it sucks, then then that would be...
If it does
suck...
So
if they come in with a female Doctor, they need to come in strong. They can't mess around.
Yeah, Chris Chibnall better have a really good 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So we just finished watching the Wimbledon tournament. Federer won with a...
He picked his nose, and I got really ticked off by that.
Right, I think that was in the second
I'm happy
set.
for him, because that was, cool to see him, get emotional at the end when he won, and
It's his 8th win in a row.
Yeah, which is actually pretty impressive, but he picked his nose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about tennis, but...
It was pretty impressive that he won without dropping a set. I think that's...
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty impressive.
And two, I know nothing about tennis, but they were saying that he overcame some huge health obstacles.
Really?
Yeah, he was off for 6 months.
Hmm.
And this was him coming back, so nobody thought he could do it again. So that's really cool.
Cool. Well, I guess I'm just waiting on... We don't have a way to view this live here in America, which is really upsetting because we did for the 12th Doctor's reveal in 2013. It was simulcast to us on BBC America. And I think it was simulcast in space in Canada.
In space?
That's their sci-fi channel name. Yeah.
Oh.
Space. Yeah.
I was there astronauts that are huge Doctor Who fans?
No. In Canada, that's their sci-fi channel.
Sorry.
So we're just waiting now. The latest update on BBC, on the Doctor Who BBC America Twitter page is any moment now, they're coming. #Doctor Who.
Everybody was clamoring, or saying, as we mentioned before, that David Tennant's coming back, but then they said that he was actually at the Wimbledon match.
Oh yeah, so someone actually noticed him in the crowd at the Wimbledon match, so that's not happening.
So there goes that. That plan's been foiled. And then for all of you who commented that you wanted Eddie Redmayne to be the next Doctor, he was also there next to Hugh Grant.
And let's just be clear, that will never happen. Or I don't want to say will never happen.
Never say never.
But for this regeneration, that would have never happened because he has just signed on to a 5-picture deal with Warner Brothers for the Fantastic Beasts franchise. He's currently climbing up the ranks in Hollywood. He's won an Oscar, and he's an A-list actor at this point. So it's just not likely.
I would rather them put their money towards other things than just getting a really expensive actor either.
And I feel like he'd be too much like Matt Smith.
Yeah, he is quirky. He's a quirky fella.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't take this anymore.
We keep refreshing, alright.
I can't take it anymore. When are they going to announce it? Any moment now.
One thing I want to mention, one thing I do want to mention is that if it's another male actor, it's potentially a stay of execution, and I don't mean that to say that I don't think a female Doctor can succeed. I'm saying viewership alone will waver once the new showrunner takes over, because it's a whole new writing team, it's a whole new Doctor, a whole new cast and crew, and it'll feel like a whole different show, which I'm excited about because I've been noticing that Stephen Moffat's run on Doctor Who has been quite stale over the past, since his run started in 2010. I really like season 10, but I want something new at this point.
Yeah, no, it's time.
It's time?
It's time for something new.
I'm going to check BBC's. I'm actually going to check the actual Doctor Who Twitter page. How do I do that? Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Okay, tweets and replies. Alright, well, they don't appear to be. BBC America
Yeah, they don't. They do not have a lot going on that Twitter page.
I think because it's airing out there, they don't actually need to, be so on point with their tweets. So I guess we'll stick with BBC America currently. Oh, guys, I'm nervous.
It's just we've been talking about this for so long, and I feel like I can't believe we're actually about to find out who the next Doctor is. It's just crazy.
And I guess now's a good time to reiterate why we think it will be a female Doctor. About a week ago, we posted a video. I think it was, we called it, Wait, the Next Doctor Might Be Female. I think I edited the title since then to just have The Next Doctor Might Be Female. But the reason we came to that conclusion was when we were watching the final episode of Season 10, the series finale, The Doctor Falls. There are 2 lines in it that are very telling. And the first being John Sim saying, "Is the future going to be all female?" And then Peter Capaldi says something along the lines of, "One can only hope." And that's pretty telling in and of itself. It might just be Stephen Moffat trolling everyone. It might just be Stephen Moffat pandering to his harshest critics, which are feminists and social justice warriors and all that.
But it also just might be him saying, which this is what I thought, this is what I would like.
Right. It might just be...
This is what I would prefer. So if you guys...
saying that.
Maybe paving the way for them to make it smoother, but ultimately he wasn't the one making the decision.
Right.
So
it would be Chris Chibnall who cast the next Doctor, ultimately.
So...
and then there's the line that when Bill and the Doctor are saying their goodbyes and they're like, we got nothing to say, basically. Bill turns around and says, you know who I'm into, right? Like, people around my age and my gender. And the Doctor's like, yeah. And she goes, I thought you'd, like, just wanted you to know that.
Yeah, something like that.
And that, to me, sounded more like a request than just a
statement?
Yeah. Some people took that as Bill saying that, like, even though that's the type of person she is into, she loves the Doctor.
That just seemed like their dynamics never felt that way to me.
No, and it not like a...
romantic love?
Not at a romantic love.
But then why would you even say, like, who you romantically feel about? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
That's a good point. Because you wouldn't do that to your grandfather, who basically that's what Peter Capaldi is, and she even calls him grandfather in Knock Knock.
So it's just weird.
It's just a weird thing to say, and I think it is probably a request.
But one thing that I thought was interesting was that someone mentioned that typically to change gender, a Doctor needs to commit suicide. And with Missy, that's... Exactly and John Sims Master, that's exactly what happened. So if the next Doctor is a female, most likely, unless they're just going to do away with that rule altogether, Peter Capaldi will be committing suicide.
Well, let's take a step back from that theory, because there is the case in this series, I think it was a Series 9 finale, that the General, a Time Lord called the General, changed from a white male to a black female. Without having to be shot.
Then that rule's done.
That said, apparently that General had changed, like her original form was female.
Oh, so maybe the regeneration before that was...
Doesn't need to be.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Like, like if she was a female the entire time and then, like, committed suicide and then regenerated into a male, then if she ever gets killed again, she can regenerate back into a female without having to commit suicide. That's just what I would think would happen.
Okay, so if this rule is true... and Capaldi commits suicide in some way, and then
it would be funny if
turns
the first
into
Doctor
a female.
Because we know that the first Doctor and Peter Capaldi are going to be...
Time to change! Pushes him off a cliff.
Yeah.
So if that is true, and somehow, the Doctor commits suicide and becomes a female, and you all hate it, then just know that unless the Doctor commits suicide again, it'll be male.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Or perhaps not. Like I said, it doesn't have to be.
But if we're right, actually, because our theory is that the Doctor is going to regenerate taking from the first Doctor, right? Like, didn't we have that idea? Because he kind of just falls ill so suddenly.
Yeah,
and if that's the
true.
case, then that might be considered like a suicide because he's taking from... Am I explaining that properly?
Yeah, in the 10th Planet, the First Doctor's final story, while the TARDIS is on Antarctica, he somehow just falls ill in the TARDIS and regenerates into Patrick Troughton. There's never been an official reason, or I don't know if there's been an official reason, but I'm sure there's been like some explanation as to how he got sick and why he got sick. But what if they retcon those ideas in the Christmas special? And I totally think they will. Mm-hmm. Because Stephen Moffat loves playing with Classic Who. Like, that's his little playground. He thinks he can just change whatever he wants. Put Clara in this story. Put Clara in that story. Put Clara in a story that didn't exist. I can picture it happening. I can picture Peter Capaldi somehow taking the energy, or like...
which would be the same rule as what happened with Missy and John Sims Master. So, more evidence that we're possibly going to get a female doctor.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know what's taking them so long.
I don't know what... If they're going to be doing a whole special like they did with the Next Doctor, or the Next Doctor special for the 12th Doctor, it might take like 2 freaking hours for this to actually pop up.
But they said any moment now. That's Doctor Who, BBC America. Wouldn't they know?
You know, I don't think Doctor Who, BBC America knows any better than we do right now, because they sprung this news on Doctor Who, BBC America, or BBC America in general, that they were going to be announcing the Doctor in 2 days' time.
Yeah. Okay.
So they didn't even give BBC America the chance to like reschedule that into their thing. So I don't know. I really don't. Guys, it is here. Meet the 13th Doctor. Let's see. Okay. Big coat. Hood. Sharp shoulders.
Those could be pads, though. Shoulder pads.
I think it's a female. I really think it's a female.
Yeah, those are some tiny ankles for a male.
I knew it!
It's her!
What?
Wow. Whew. Whew. Well.
I'm in a state of shock, guys. I didn't think that was going to happen.
You said like 8 times that you thought it was going to happen.
I didn't actually believe myself.
Well, whether you like it or not, we have a female doctor for the first time in over 50 years.
Well, since 54 years this year.
Yep. Wow. This is going to be a crazy season.
I'm so scared, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. My heart is pounding right now. You can probably hear it, Jen. I don't know.
No, I can't, but...
I'm kidding. Yeah, obviously.
It's not possible.
It's like John Sim. It's the noise in my head.
Okay, this is crazy, but I'm excited. I think now that they're making a female doctor, they're going to bring it this season. Like, I think they're going to go bananas. And they better, because if not, then that's going to really screw the show.
I don't have words, guys. I'm looking forward to the new season. I'm looking forward to meeting the 13th Doctor. I'm worried about the direction the show is going to be heading. That's all I have to say. Bye, guys.
Bye.